Greetings, it's Byro here. I hope all my frogs and polywogs are staying fresh out there. What do you got today for us, Johnny?
Radical, leftist, Antifa thugs.
I'm gonna botch how it's pronounced. Antifa?
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 Antifa? Yeah, Antifa.
Oh, come on, Johnny. I said no more Nazi videos. You know I think Antifa and the Nazis are the same thing. Dumb.
Antifa, short for anti-fascist. It's an umbrella term for a group that shows up at protests to confront neo-Nazis and white supremacists.
Carlos, how dare you? Shame, shame. Antifa doesn't show up just for Nazi protests, they also do delivery. Just send them a picture of a fat dude wearing a swastika armband and they'll be on their way. He'll be sucker punched before you know it.
They dress in all black, they wear masks, and they occasionally engage in violence.
And destruction of property, but no biggie, yeah, whatever.
They're known as Antifa, and they're also known for being violent.
But for a group that's getting so much airtime for being violent and dangerous, they're not causing that much havoc.
Johnny, get an ambulance. I'm having a stroke-io.
A stroke by IO, or stroke-io, is a stroke caused by an irony overload.
In Berkeley, where about 4,000 people showed up to protest a white supremacist rally, there were 100 Antifa, 9 injuries, and a total of 13 arrests. In Portland, thousands of protesters at opposing rallies, no major injuries, 14 arrests. That might sound like a lot, but it's about the number of arrests you'd expect at a rowdy NFL game.
Let me get this straight. We'll have to use your Berkeley example since that's the only one you told us the amount of Antifa protesters. Out of 4,000 protesters, 100 of them were Antifa. 9 were injured, 13 were arrested. And you want us to compare that to a football stadium that averages a capacity of 60,000 seats. So that averages around 20.5 arrests or whatever. How do you get 0.5? You arrested midgets? Does that mean that like one midget gets out of control per football game? Anyways, other than being dumb, why did you think this was a good example? As you can tell, I'm awful at math, but even I know those numbers aren't crunching.
Antifa look scary, but they make up a tiny part of the protests they show up at. So why have they become such a powerful boogeyman in protest coverage?
Oh, it's probably because of the burglary, assaults, and vandalism, I would guess. The rest of the video is about how the media mostly concentrates on the chaos and violence caused by only a small group of Antifa. And by doing so, we lose the original message of the protest. Basically, Carlos would like the coverage to sound something like this. I'm downtown here, where Antifa has set a car on fire. They've also started randomly sucker punching people in red hats. 9 people have been injured so far. I would like to remind our viewers not to forget the intent behind the original message. They're here to protest the Nazi rally, against violence and hate. Oh, it looks like Antifa just set a building on fire. Back to you, Ron. No, but seriously, I really don't like Vox. But them defending Antifa made me realize they're worse than I thought. Antifa's vandalism and violence isn't their biggest problem, believe it or not. It's the message. If you're part of Antifa, or protest alongside them, what do you really think you're accomplishing? Do you think you're stopping people from becoming Nazis? Like if you weren't there, they would have seen that rally and been like, hey, I've never seen this before. What's that? Hey, maybe I'll join. Oh, hold on a second, I didn't see those dumb kids over there LARPing PUBG and destroying private property. That was a close one. I almost joined the Nazis. Or is it more likely that you'll make an idiot go full retard and join one of these groups? Even if we took out the vandalism and assault, you still wouldn't be accomplishing what you think you are. By going out there and protesting these white supremacist dummies, all you're doing is giving them validation. Because if you didn't go there, it would just be a bunch of dumb dicks holding up signs. So the only thing you've accomplished so far is making the problem a lot worse. Please, fuck off.